Hi there, my name is Kay Moon, and I'm a Western astrologer and twin flame channel. And this is a video about the Aquarius full moon taking place on August 9th at 3:53 a.m. If you happen to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States, check a time zone converter for your local time. Really excited to be back with another lunar update. This version will be for the divine counterpart, soulmate, and twin flame collective. At the end of the Lightworker Lunar Update, you'll find that there was a special guest who joined to collab with me and add tarot insights to the Lunar Update for you to take it deeper, add nuance, and share some metaphysical stuff, as I promised with you guys in a community post several months back. I'm excited for you to hear who it is and what they have to share. The insights will be brilliant because she's brilliant. There is a new community launching soon to add additional insights to the lunar updates from planets that aren't featured but are absolutely making an impact every new and full moon, so be on the lookout for it. And we are in the peak of eclipse season and 30 days away from the September 7th lunar eclipse in Pisces, which 30 days out and 60 days out, and even 90 days out in some cases, you may see significant events start to happen pertaining to the eclipse. The eclipse energies are linked in the end screen to the Aquarius full moon lunar update for light workers, as well as being linked. See if I can link them down below so you can catch what that might be about for you. Because we're in this season, know that sessions are available in my calendar. If you would like to book to chat about how this eclipse may impact you, now is a great time to do it. My calendar is freeing up since I am completing teaching a class, and I'd love to talk to you in one of the last 2 weeks of August before we get to the eclipses to walk through how this may impact you personally. Here's our Aquarius full moon. At the 16th degree of Aquarius, we do see some very interesting aspects here. We have a square to Juno, Vesta, and Lilith. We also have a sextile to Ceres as well. And as always, a full moon is opposite the sun. And together, these energies, along with a conjunction to Pallas and Chariclo there in Aquarius, open up an energy of personal transformation and change happening in the material world with regard to the people and groups that we spend the most time around and have the most connection with. Definitely have a look at your chart for extra detail here and to listen to the Lightworker Lunar Update for more. But for now, let's get right into what the divine counterparts may be experiencing at this full moon in each of their respective energetic fields. Here's Juno, our divine feminine energy, in conjunction to Vesta and Lilith. Because she is in communication with this full moon, you will see that everything that I discussed in the Lightworker Lunar Update is doubly more applicable for divine feminine energies, especially those of you who consider yourself exclusively divine feminine. You do not resonate at all when I speak to the divine masculine energies for yourself during these lunar updates. You'll find that you'll experience this divine feminine energy in greater potency and impact. Vesta is bringing in commitment and dedication, and Lilith a focus on taking what we've learned and we are leaving behind and doing things our way. With Juno here in Scorpio, this is a journey that she's been on for some time. She was retrograde for a good 4 months this year. She's making her way out of the retrograde zone, and she steps out of it in October. But this period of time prior to then is the resurrection cycle for divine feminine energies. It's a recognition of what we've put down, what we've ended, what we no longer want to carry with us, and that which we are taking with us in the new chapter in a new way. For some of you, this is going to be specifically about the counterpart and the connection. You may find that there are either patterns or behaviors that you're no longer engaging in of theirs, of yours. Alternatively, you may find the connection itself needs to be put down for a time being so that it can resurrect in the fullness of time in a way that is more aligned with both of your higher selves in the third dimension. Alternatively, for some of you, depending upon the placement in your chart of the sign of Scorpio, this could pertain to things related to work, to money, things related to identity and shadow work, things related to family or children. All of this can be discovered in your chart, but if you already know what this is, you should know what this is by now. Know that because she is on the alternative side of the retrograde, which means she's on the resurrection side, solutions can be found now. The unique thing about solutions at this full moon is that the Vesta and the Lilith aspects make it so that we're unwilling to compromise in those solutions. Instead, solutions will need to be both and, as opposed to either or. And the tension to this full moon at this time will make it so that we have to find the both and solution as opposed to the either or, because nothing else will do. You may find that there's some discomfort in partnership, relationship, collaboration, or in groups at this time. And you may feel like you need to either shy away or push harder at one or the other extremes when it comes to making your voice heard, either opting all the way out or doubling down and steamrolling others. What I would recommend, given the tension in this energy, is instead to get some clarity for yourself. What is it and what is the outcome that my behaviors are evoking or indicative of my non-negotiable need? And then how can I get that non-negotiable need met along with the other people's need at the same time? In this way, the square evokes creative solutions and problem solving with others so that we can continue to stay connected, as is Juno's desire, without hiding, repressing, or abandoning ourselves. We also see Juno in connection with or trine to Jupiter and Venus conjunct in Cancer here. And this gives us a really beautiful energy of harmony between the divine counterparts, especially with Jupiter and Venus conjunct. We'll get into more of this in a minute, but I want to speak to what this is going to mean for the divine feminine fields exclusively. There's an opening in the emotional pathways for softening, for heart opening, for expansiveness, for connection in ways that there may not have been room or bandwidth for in the earlier parts of the year, as Juno made her retrograde in the signs of ending and confrontations with fear, guilt and shame, power, control, and manipulation. Now that she's moving forward and she's in harmony with her counterpart and Venus, Venus's influence on her counterpart can enhance Jupiter's energy of expansion and growth in the very emotional sign of Cancer, and that influence coming into the divine feminine fields via the trine aspect will allow divine feminine energies to experience a softening to their emotional nature. Those divine feminine energies, or individuals, I should say, who've been running more masculine energy, will find that this period of time opens the heart center. Those masculine entities or individuals who have been running more feminine energy all of this time, you may find that this is a period of time where you feel emotionally flooded, overwhelmed, bogged down, and needing to rest so that you can release some of the heaviness of collective burden through empathy with this particular full moon. Alternatively, this energy marks the continuation of a very brief union window between the counterparts that allows the two energies to harmonize very easily in the third dimension. You may find between you and your counterpart, there's a lot of emotional signaling going back and forth between the two of you, whether you're in communication or not. And this may include not only dreams, but daytime awareness of one another in each other's physical presence, whether you are in each other's physical presence or not. There's peak attunement between the counterparts, how each other feels, what each other is feeling about the other, and how to. This is going to be informative for you about how to navigate where your connection is at. One of the things I've spoken about at length this year in the divine feminine energetic fields is how potent her emotional signaling is going to be, and how easy, especially after the month of June, it will be for the counterpart to pick up on your emotional signals, thoughts, and feelings in particular. If you are finding that there's distance or identifying you and your counterpart in separation, this is a really great time, this particular full moon, for some self reflection. We have the sign of enlightenment that this full moon falls within. If you need some insight into why your counterpart may be keeping things at arm's length, this is a really great time for mirror work and the enlightenment of seeing, are there thoughts and feelings that I've been harboring about the connection or about myself or about my counterpart, that if they heard those things out loud, it would make it hard for them to want to stay present and or connected. Likewise, if you have been being hard on yourself, beating up on yourself, or betraying yourself during this period of time, the enhancement and exaggeration of those emotions with Jupiter and Venus beaming energy over here to Juno will make it very obvious for you to see what must change in terms of frequency in order to get to the state of neutrality, and then divine acceptance and allowance for your union to take place in the third dimension. Alternatively, for those of you who identify your union and your connection in some format of union, you will see that this is a period of time where there's a lot of emotional transparency, emotional truth, and emotional connection beginning to show itself in the third dimension. Cozy, restful, connected times. There also could be some tears and some eruptions coming through with this full moon of emotions that you didn't know the other one had. And so as a result, the enlightenment available in this full moon has the ability to quantum leap the connection forward. Whether you identify in separation or identify in some format of union, this harmony between the counterparts in water signs, and specifically with the divine feminine connected to Vesta and Lilith in the sign that has her innermost secrets laid bare to her, can facilitate deeper intimacy, connection, and growth between two counterparts willing to have conversation and connection at this particular full moon. Let's go ahead and talk about the divine masculine. As I mentioned, this energy continues through, I want to say like mid-September. And about mid-September, we roll out of union window energy and we move into a different type of frequency for divine counterparts coming from the planets. Now, that doesn't mean you and your person will break up or anything like that. Just means that right now there's wind in the sails for deeper emotional connection. When that energy shifts, there's wind in the sails for other work together. All right. I love to see this for us. Many of you are capitalizing on this. I'm hearing lots of stories from our participants in the Union Workshops Part 1 and 2 and 3PE about breakthroughs that they've been having in the third dimension with communication, with revelation, with consistency and continuity in the third dimension. hearts being revealed back and forth between two people. So take advantage of this energy. Like I said earlier this year, you don't have to live in habituated separation. You can actually break that cycle. And 2025 is a big year for breaking that cycle and stepping into the energy of union and the practices and the behaviors of intimacy in the third dimension. This is one of the full moons and this period of time where this mini union window is taking place, where you get that opportunity for the energetic push from the planets to help you out. If you need any help figuring out how to do this, the last 2 weeks of my calendar, there is availability in August. There is availability. I'd love to chat with you. Personal reading is all you need. And we'll look at what's going on for you in your chart and what it's saying about where you need to step up to call in the energy of union in your connection, or heighten how you and your counterpart can utilize this energy for harmony and balance if you guys are already together. Let's take a look at the divine masculine's energetic fields at this time. Here's Jupiter, the husband of the zodiac, speaking in harmony here with Venus and then also with Juno. Let's take a look at this from the divine masculine energetic perspective. Jupiter and Venus conjunct, specifically in water sign Cancer, is a super deep, heart opening energy that is allowing divine masculine energetic fields to come home to emotional truth, emotional wholeness, emotional clarity, and begin to create alignment with between their third dimensional reality and the truth of what emotions are revealing. Many of you have probably heard or caught wind that there are those who identify an exclusively divine masculine energy, that there's a lot of awakening going on for divine masculine energies, not only about their feelings and the heart, about the connection, but there's also an awakening going on when it comes to releasing the world pattern of masculinity and stepping into leadership when it comes to heart-centered masculine truths for the collective. It's a beautiful energy here, and Venus connected to Jupiter only heightens that and expands that and softens the masculine heart for the collective, opening the masculine heart for the divine masculine community inside of divine counterparts, twin flames, and soulmates. I love to see this energy because it's a long awaited energy for the collective. Jupiter in Gemini was a very, very heady energy. Jupiter in Cancer is a very heart opening energy. It takes the energy from the throat chakra and the crown, the third eye, sixth chakra, into the heart. And in this way, there's no emotional escape around the true feelings related to the connection for both counterparts in their divine masculine fields. There is an interpretation here that I want to speak to, although I don't feel it's very relevant to very many in this collective. But if this is you, I just want to validate you're not crazy if this is what's unfolding for you. Venus represents a soulmate energy. She's the lower octave of Juno, the counterpart, the divine feminine twin flame energy. With both of them speaking in harmony with Jupiter, there could be, and I'm going to say this as gently and neutrally as I can, some of you who are running a lot of divine masculine energy and identifying more exclusively in the masculine templates. You may find that there's, instead of you and just your counterpart, there's you and a soulmate and a counterpart all trying to figure out how to work things out. Now, in the light, this is parenting and co-parenting, trying to figure out how do we do this together. Now that I'm with someone I love, I need to figure out how to work it out with the parent of my children so that all of us can be on the same healthy page for the kids. Other ways that this can play out, I know some of you are exploring polyamory. You've met with me in sessions. You're trying to figure out how to have a collaborative partnership with more than one partner. It's also a beautiful thing. But then there are those of you who are operating in the shadows where, you're trying to have cake and eat it too. You want to have the divine feminine energy and the soulmate energy, but not tell one and not tell the other. And this is the kind of energy, once Juno makes her way into the sign of truth and insight and higher values, you will see this backfire once we get over to Juno in Sagittarius in October. So this is the right time, if this is you, to take a beat, pay attention to your heart. What's the truth of what you want? And if what you want is two people, not just one, then really honor that and honor the other two people and give them the option to say whether they'd like to be involved in that way or not. Know that your strength and your courage can actually be rewarded as you step into your truth at this time in ways that in other times it would be difficult to make it all work. Now, like I said, I don't think that's the majority of you, but I do see that energy here and wanted to speak to that just in case some of you are growing through challenges of that nature at this time. We also see for the divine masculine a trine here to Nessus in Pisces. And this constitutes what we would call a grand water trine with Nessus in Pisces, Juno there in Scorpio, and Jupiter here in Cancer, with occupation in all of the water signs. This can be a period of time of heightened emotionality, especially for those of you who already have a lot of water placements in your chart. The deluge of added emotional placements from the planets and water signs can make it very difficult to navigate normal 3D activities, especially in the divine masculine energetic fields. What I'd recommend for this, if you're struggling in that way, is to take the time you need to regulate your nervous system. Tools like EFT, somatic breathing, and/or shaking. Somatic yoga can really help you come to terms with your feelings, purge and release feelings that are heavy or not even yours, since empathy is very high at this period, and come back into clarity about what is yours and how to handle that moving forward, what messages your emotions are providing for you. Some of you may be inclined to sleep it off, and that's also fine, as tension and energies run high in the collective emotionally, because there is so much change unfolding at this time. You may find that it's much easier to be on the astral plane and move through this period with a lot of sleep, rather than trying to navigate day-to-day life in the third dimension, picking up everyone else's signals, because people are broadcasting a lot of signal at this time emotionally. Alternatively, like I said, some practices to help regulate your nervous system, to come into self-compassion around the feelings that are going on. Talking to a therapist would be great. Movement or anything you can do with water, baths, showers, sauna and steam room, cold plunges. All of these things can really help bring the nervous system back to a state of neutrality so that you can find your inner strength and really handle what's your emotions versus what's other people's. Nessus in Pisces is bringing the energy of obsession into the spiritual practices of this period of time, or the spiritual movement in this period of time. And you may find yourself constantly researching, trying to find out, trying to figure out, get to the bottom of things that are unfolding on the spiritual plane, trying to understand it, seeking guidance and wisdom. One thing that I recommend here is always check any information you get, even from me, against your own intuition, so that you are being true to your own guidance for your own life. Your life will respond to no authority or voice more than your own about it. And so if you're hearing information from anyone, You're like, yeah, I don't know if that really resonates or if that's not true for me, or I have to really think about that to make sure it fits. It's okay to put it down, to let it go, because in time you will find what is true for you. And sometimes listening to lots of other spiritual information can assist you in refining your own intuition about what is true for you. Okay. So I like to see this energy because it can help us clarify things. But as I mentioned, it's just one more placement in water signs. And for those who are already emotionally sensitive, this can feel like it's opened the floodgates a bit. All of that to say, I would love to read for you if you want to take a look at how to work through this energy for yourself. I believe that this is going to be a period of time when collectively we'll all be able to look back and really see, because there were such dynamic shifts in the divine feminine energy fields in 2025. The foundation and bedrock of our connections have literally changed and transformed. I mentioned that 2025 is the halfway point between the last union window in 2023 and the next one in 2028. So if you would like to chat about where your connection is going, what you personally need to be doing based on the blueprint of your chart in service of your connection, now's the time to book a reading. I'm over at kmoonastro.com. The link to book is right below this video. And I will see you at the next lunar update, which is coming up fairly quickly here. I believe that'll be our new moon in Virgo. Will it be? Yeah, our new moon in Virgo, 2 weeks' time. And then we'll have a full moon in Pisces lunar eclipse. I'll link to that in the closing end screen to this video so that if you want to get a preview about what that'll be about, you'll be able to tune right in. Thank you so much. Take great care, and bye for now.